A new event is coming to Brawl Stars. It's a My Hero Academia event where you can get a skin for free. We're going to talk about all of this. There are a lot of things to say that will add a bit to the Brawl Talk. Plenty of things we haven't seen and things we need to react to. That's why this video is really a supplement to the Brawl Talk and all of that. Since it's a current events video, we have more time to talk, which is cooler. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this Brawl Talk. I think it's just incredible. Right now, Brawl Stars is really on an upward trend. They're dropping banger after banger, and it's extremely cool to see the game like this. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, as usual. Don't forget the likes, the comments, the code periodo, and of course, subscriptions. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed, by the way. I won't make you wait any longer. Let's get started right away. So I hope you enjoy watching. There's a lot to talk about. I need to briefly discuss Brawl Stars and what happened on their account so we can proceed chronologically. The Brawl Talk was teased with Let Juju Cook, but in the end, Juju's trio still doesn't have a new brawler, even though we expected one. And yet it's not complete. It's Juju, PJ, and one brawler is missing, but there was no hint. However, when it comes to predictions, we did pretty well because that famous sword is actually a new brawler. It's Star Nova. You mentioned a possible arcade skin, but there isn't one. However, Meeple exists, as we said. We also discussed Colette. So, we got some things right, but the brawlers were unpredictable. No, when I record videos announcing Brawl Talks, I don't know what's in them. If I spoiled what I do know, I'd lose my creator code and couldn't make Brawl Talk videos anymore. So, there would be no point in me spoiling real information. Every time what I do are just predictions. A lot of people don't believe it, but listen, I've been doing this for over 5 years, and after a while, of course, I start to understand the mechanics of Brawl Stars. That's why there's still a good part where I'm right. And while I'm at it, I'll also explain to you how the Brawl Talks work, because a lot of people don't understand that. We Supercell creators with creator codes get access to Brawl Talk a bit less than 24 hours early. That allows us to make our videos. You can imagine editing and everything. It doesn't happen in 3 seconds. It still takes several hours to do, but I swear to you, even with 24 hours notice, it's very complicated to make videos. Because you have to shoot it, edit it, and so on, upload it to YouTube. It has a verification time. In short, there are still quite a lot of things to do. And obviously, since there are all the shorts, and you see 4,000 videos every time, it takes time to do everything. But there are certain times when, in fact, we only got them 3 hours ahead of time. So it's not even 24 hours, it's even more complicated to make videos. This time, we had a bit more time, and fortunately, that's why I didn't sleep at all from Friday night to Saturday. I made my videos, and then I had to go up to Paris for an event. So I had 6 hours on the train, and then I had another 6 hours on the train for the trip back. It's complicated when you live in the South, so making videos is pretty complicated, but at least now you know a bit about how things go for Brawl Talk. In the end, we got 3 new brawlers, and they were brawlers we never could have seen coming. Especially this one, the famous Rolling Ball. Indeed, he's not part of the Meeple trio, it's a separate trio, but it's in the same environment. You know, the environments are grouped by trios, and so there are trios of trios, and now the new bolt actually opens up a new trio just below Meeple like that. Meanwhile, Star Nova is added to Startoon right here next to Kit, and Damien completes the trio with Lumi and Draco. That one is finished. In the end, there are still a lot of trios since there's still one that's open, but at least it doesn't create a new environment, so that's something. But I'm also looking forward to seeing the next brawler in the Star Park trio. That's what interests me the most. It's the mysterious brawler. Even when it comes to collaborations, it's something we never could have seen coming at all. I think with My Hero Academia, maybe we could have expected it because we knew there was an anime, a Japanese manga, that was going to collaborate. But was it really that one? We couldn't predict it, though we expected something similar. Adidas is the most surprising, since it's unrelated to Brawl Stars, but it works because of the World Cup. Still, it's really surprising. As for the event that's blowing up the live, let's not forget it's still going on. Now I hope we'll really get the free Buffy. We need to get 15 million views on the latest Brawl Talk video. At the time I'm recording this video, we're at 12 million, so normally it's gonna be tough. Will they still give it to us or not? We'll hit 15 million views eventually, but it takes time. I'm eager to see what happens. For now, it's tough. So we got our famous previews, and we can also see the backgrounds from Brawl Stars. We can see this background here. It'll be for Damien's release, a pretty cool background. For Supernova, I guess it's for his early access too, also really cool. But it's true that it doesn't look like a Brawl Stars brawler at all. It kind of reminds me of a Djanet skin. Actually, Luna Djanet looks a bit like this, or it literally looks like a character straight out of Genshin Impact. It really does. I like the Sailor Moon reference in the skin animations. It's really cool. No worries, the skin tier list will be out tomorrow. There are so many videos to make. I'm absolutely exhausted. I haven't slept, but the videos are coming. I'm going to enjoy it, so don't worry. Same for Spy. The reference is Itsune Miku. For those unfamiliar, this is what it looks like. Actually, it's a mix since the animations are with Sailor Moon. You get the idea. The collection is really stylish. It'll be released in May, or at least it's for the May season. For Bolt, well, that'll come out in June, but yeah, there are little cars and everything. Maybe now we see why Brawl Stars held a car event. Since we could control cars, I think they might have planned it all along. But it's true, they literally look like Bakugan for those who remember the reference from back then. There's even the little tree and everything, so you get it. It's those little things in the cars. Honestly, I find it funny. Now, I think the brawler is complicated and easy to counter since you have to use the brawler on open maps. He lacks speed and can't do damage on closed maps since he loses speed when turning. He needs open maps but is easily countered by anything that can stop him. For example, just an EMZ gadget, will that stop him? Will it slow him down? I think so. So for me, he's a brawler that's very easy to counter. I don't think he's very strong, but still, I'm looking forward to seeing and trying him out. That'll be soon. My Hero Academia, were you asking when it is? So, we'll have some news about these skins at the end of April. We'll talk about it later in the video, but we don't have the exact dates. I think it will happen late April or May, but we're not sure yet. I don't have the date. We'll also have this stylish wallpaper, which was added too. But for which skin? I can't wait to see. Maybe it's there as a teaser for the season, just before the June Brawl talk. If that's the case, I'm excited to see because it probably means a star pack for June. But honestly, I have a hard time understanding why they put this in. Because we don't have a full season. You see, we have the World Cup, so that's the June season, the World Cup. And Magic All-Star, well, that's for May too. So when is this for? I can't wait to see. But anyway, we have a background like this. It's a loading screen. Here are the free cosmetics they'll give us for watching the Brawl Cup. The Brawl Cup will take place from May 15th to 17th, and we'll get free cosmetics. And we also have a Jackie skin. We can see that the trophy, well, it's kind of related to Jackie. Are we going to get all of this for free as well? I can't wait to see. But that's going to happen from May 15th to 17th. I'll try to stream if I can anyway. That way, I'll give you all the predictions ahead of time. And those are extra free rewards. We'll try to get them together. New battle map, that's been added too. It's nice. It's always good to have little additions like that. For those who didn't scan the QR code at the end of the Brawl talk, we got this for free. I'll put the link directly in the description and in a pinned comment. At least there you go, you'll get it for free. Let's just say that's always a little extra. There will be more free items in the video, including the famous skin you're waiting for. I'll share details soon. Countdown for the Brawl talk, it's an animation inside Juju's shop. Unfortunately, it wasn't shown during the Brawl talk. I don't know why, we just had the basic YouTube counter, but still there are quite a few clues on it. Well, you can literally see it's Juju's environment. We have the little cauldron, it's exactly what Danny did during the Brawl talk. But actually, we didn't get any more clues than that. On the other hand, the environment is really stylish. It's a bit odd, but it's a shame they didn't use it. We can see Juju's cards, that's when she does her readings and everything because she's into voodoo. We have eyes like that, we have a little star drop. Anyway, the environment is really stylish, it's a shame it wasn't used. Really, there's something to be done here. They're really going all out, they're really going all out. But I can't wait to see the next brawler in this trio too, because we don't know them yet. It's a shame. With the introduction of Supernova, Kit breaks a streak of 842 days without a trio partner. And until Starnova joins the trio, it would take 867 days. For example, Charlie and Sirius waited 843 days for Charlie to have a partner. So Sirius. In other words, Kit is the brawler we've waited the longest for to have a trio. So yeah, it's been a while, and Kit, well, let's just say he's kind of a toxic brawler. And listen, Starnova is part of his trio, and from what we've seen, she seems kind of toxic too. I'm learning Kenji's moves and used to play Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, that's it. I hope you saved up enough blinks too. I think it's really cool that we can buy legendary skins, and most importantly, it's a legendary skin that we get to choose. We'll just have a kind of list with some legendary skins. I think we'll maybe have 5 or 6, something like that. Maybe even more. It won't be all the legendary skins, but you'll be able to choose the one you want. However, price is still a factor. These offers aren't always available, so you'll need to wait and save your blinks for the right moments. The best thing, honestly, if you have a lot of blinks, is obviously to pay for legendary skins, or even mythic ones. These are skins you really want. At least you'll be able to get them for free. But yes, it is very expensive. That's why, when the update arrives, likely tomorrow, be cautious since it's not guaranteed. Don't use all your blinks immediately or get too excited. Wait for good offers. You've been warned. Did you notice? 3 buffs, 1 per day for 3 days. There was 1 on Sunday due to the new mega quest. Wait, if you have all the buffs on all brawlers, don't use them yet. Hold off until the update so you can unlock them for free. Also on Monday, you'll get a free Buffy as a Sunday reward. So, today, as I make this video, we don't know if we've received the free buff yet. The update comes Tuesday, and we'll get a random free Buffy from all available in the game. Be careful! If you have all the buffs and try this, you won't get a Buffy key, just 1000 power points as compensation. That's why I suggest waiting. Since we're talking about buffs, why did we only get 3 Buffies? Well, 3 brawlers with Buffies? It's because in this update, they created 3 brawlers. Frank said they focused on creating brawlers, not buffs. In the next update, things should return to normal, with 2 trios getting Buffies. So, this is the only update, technically at least, where we'll just get 3 brawlers with buffs. Honestly, I want to say it's enough, and it might let free-to-play players catch up a bit more. Even though it's so expensive that it's going to be complicated, but honestly, it's actually good news, I have to say. It means we'll have 3 brawlers who will be really strong because they'll have the buffs. Edgar, Colette, and Griff, we no longer need to watch out for 6 brawlers. Brawlers with the previous buffs remain strong, but the meta might be simpler. As usual, we also get free rewards daily. But this time, it's actually pretty cool to know because we reached 30 million daily victories in just one day. And be careful, it's not just one victory, it's 6 victories. We got one of the best rewards. That was really cool. Now, it's a bit more complicated. I really thought we were going to get a free buff that would be nice. But no, in the end, it's all about the star drops. And luckily, we should normally get the Buffy. Right now, we have 33 million daily victories. So normally, we have the Buffy. That's a really, really good addition. It's great to have it. Be careful, if you have all the Buffies, don't claim it yet. Leave it in the shop until Tuesday. Friendly advice, I know some of you will claim it, but it's like that mega quest. Wait if possible. Don't do it or just change that mega quest. Take something else. That way, it'll just move. A pretty nice little anecdote. Now you can actually pay for that famous Mina skin. So, Fairy Mina. Of course, don't do it. Keep your blinks, etc. You can pay for it with blinks, that's why I'm mentioning it, but it's the very last skin ever to be released with blinks in this new catalog format. Now it won't work the same way anymore, and since we're talking about skins, etc. Let's discuss cosmetics since there have been changes. Rogestar surveyed players about what they value most in a skin. You might remember we did a poll. I mentioned it was maybe 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. Special effects came out on top. On the other hand, everything cosmetic was at the bottom of the list. They were asking us what interested us the most. Either the special effects, the voice lines on a skin, or everything that's cosmetic like pins, icons, sprays on a skin. Is it interesting or not? Of course, people answered that it's less interesting than special effects. Another reason is their usage. Skin cosmetics are generally used very little, so those are the reasons for this elimination. That's why there are changes, but they also mentioned that creating special effects is much more difficult than making cosmetics. It makes sense. Creating an animation is more complicated than making a simple icon that doesn't move. So they didn't make these changes for nothing. They want to give us a better experience. This was shared by one of the designers from Brawl Stars. That's why all icons, sprays, and emojis will disappear and won't be released anymore. Also, some mythic skins, though not all, will have voice lines. You can clearly see the difference between epic, mythic, and legendary. Mythic mainly has more custom animations, especially elimination effects, while legendary includes spawn effects too. Honestly, mythic skins are really worth it now, by far. In the end, for balancing, at least it gives a real overview. It might be easier for you. I admit these balance changes are pretty unusual. Okay. Lumi wasn't used that much, so they gave her a huge buff. Same for Fang. I think he also has some new skins, so they want to highlight these new skins. So Fang, that's why it's also maybe a chance to put him in the spotlight. Just like Surge, you see, there's a skin for him. They're highlighting him. The rest is really just small details. You know, the star powers, etc. Those aren't really interesting things. Just like Jae Young, nothing really that interesting. But Draco, it's actually not that bad. The Brawler is really being highlighted. Same for Daryl, I'm pretty surprised. His buff is almost doubled. But keep in mind, it's with his super, you really have to roll over them. But I think that's pretty huge. The rest, honestly, the buffs are pretty chill. But I'm quite happy about the nerfs, especially for Leon, Billy, and Pierce. Those were brawlers that were really strong, mainly because of the buffs. I think the brawlers will stay strong, except maybe Billy, who's getting nerfed more and more since these aren't his first nerfs.
Par contre, il y a des nerfs, je comprends pas. Pourquoi mettre autant...
For Ziggy, I thought the brawler was balanced, maybe a bit strong, but now it's pretty harsh. Same with Grom. I don't get the nerf since the brawler isn't strong alone. The rest makes sense. Nagia's nerf is good too. These are mechanical changes. And especially, it's this thing that interests me, the poison. I talked about it in yesterday's video, but for those who didn't catch it, the further you are into the poison, the more damage you'll take. So, the closer you are to the edge of the poison, well, you'll take damage, yes, but it's like it is right now. But if you're far in, yeah, you're really going to suffer. That's a really good thing. It's going to prevent some toxic strategies. You know, with Charlie's Cocoon, things like that, back in the day, it was used a lot. Now, what interests me are the famous icons. Let's take a look at all that. Maybe there are some little clues. We especially have the Brawl Cup icon, which looks like this. There's a Soccer World Cup icon, showing it's a partnership since they have rights to use the same ball. There's also a Buffy icon, which I find interesting, and you can spot Crazy Raccoon too. So Crazy Raccoon got the esport partner status, so we'll really get a Crazy Raccoon skin if they win the Worlds. I don't know if last year's skin might be remodeled in favor of Crazy Raccoon, I don't think so. But it's really good news because we don't have a custom skin from the winners, and that's a bit of a shame. We also have black and white icons, same thing, it's for the collaboration. I think it's pretty stylish. Anyway, at least you can see everything. The Fang icon is really beautiful, same with these caps, they look pretty good. They also added new effects to Shiba Inu. I'll let you listen to these effects because it's something else. There you go, at least you've heard it. I think it's really cool that they're updating the old skins, because it's been such a long time since especially this skin came out. You see, it needs to be brought up to date a bit. I think it's super cool. Now the sound effect, that's complicated. Afterwards, if you play without the sound effects, it's not a big deal, but it's important to mention it. Here are all the new sprays that will also be released during this update. So there are sprays from the Brawl Pass. Of course, there will be a pack opening for this Brawl Pass. Don't worry. We can also see sprays tied to hypercharges, especially Damien's, plus a few others. This helps spot hints. Honestly, I can't wait to see the World Cup ones. They look awesome. We also have the Challengers and Brawl Cup ones, plus the My Hero Academia collaboration sprays here, some with skins. You can see everything. I'm most interested in the pins, so we'll check those next. I'll let you hear all the skin effects, attack sounds, and more. Once it's on the tier list, you'll hear everything. Reviewing other skins would take too long. Still, what they've done is cool, and the My Hero Academia collaboration is cool too, though the animation isn't great. Honestly, it still looks great. The skins are amazing. Just check out the legendary Super Striker Lou skin. Since no more cosmetics are coming, legendary skins will get better sound effects. I can't wait to hear them, but I'll leave some surprise for you. The tier list will likely come out tomorrow, but take that with a grain of salt. But assuming I have time to edit it and everything, I've made you wait long enough for a new challenge. There will be a challenge about Djanet coming up. You'll have to complete this challenge to get a skin for free. It'll be the Eurovity Djanet skin. It'll be free, and that's really awesome. You can see it'll take place from April 28th to May 7th, but be careful, we'll only have 4 lives. That means if you go over those 4 lives well, I don't know if we'll be able to buy more lives with gems to absolutely get the skin. For now, we don't know. Since it's really a big teaser, we're not sure. And at the same time, you can see the maps. We'll only have 3 maps. Honestly, that's fine. It's pretty easy to win. I imagine it's 3 wins per map. You can see the rewards below. So we have Star Drop, Chaos Star Drop. And then we also have pins, spray, and icon to win as we go. And at the very end, we'll get the famous Djanet skin. I think it's really cool. Watch out for those special maps. Above all, find some teammates for April 28th. You have a bit of time. There are 8 days, but at least now you know in advance, well in advance. And there you go. This skin will be available to win for free. Make sure to find good teammates. Because honestly, the skin is a real masterpiece. It would be such a shame to miss it. The effects are just amazing in my opinion. And that's it. Well, it's a reference to My Hero Academia, which is cool. But even the attack effects and everything looks really good on this skin, and in my opinion this skin is epic since there's no elimination effect. As you can see, the robot doesn't have anything special, at least that's what I think, but at least you get to see everything about this skin. There you go, it looks really cool. At the same time, this gives you a little recap. So yeah, it lasts for 10 days. You need at least power 9 brawlers to be able to play it, so normally that's good, and at least you have all the game modes, all the rewards. Anyway, this skin is really epic. It gives you a good recap. There's a new theme on Trophy Road. In fact, that's going to be added during the update. You can especially see the Brawlywood trio. So it's the trio with Lola, Kiri, and Miko, so it's Star Studio. So there you have the environment, etc. Then we actually have the animation studio. So here, it's with Kid, and as a result, the new brawler Supernova. Maybe you can imagine there are some references, maybe, yeah, to the next brawler. In any case, I think so. And if there's a reference to Starnova, normally there would definitely be a reference to the next brawler. Well, I don't really see one here. Then again, I'm not really taking the time to look closely. I don't see his sword or anything like that. We don't know the brawler well, including his animations and attacks. There must be a reference. So if that's the case, there might also be one for the third brawler. It's interesting. Especially, you see something like that, maybe that's the case. And what interests me the most is that it's all organized around trios. So we've seen Startoon, there's also Supernova and the Turbo Theater. Unfortunately, we've never had the environment. So like I told you, in the videos, those who really watch all the videos and every part, yes, we know the environment, we know what it looks like since we've already had videos. But that environment has never appeared in Brawl Stars. I'm talking about in maps, levels, and so on. And that's especially why we have cranes and it's a construction site. That means at some point it's definitely going to appear in Brawl Stars, but that's not the case yet. And that's why we have this environment that looks like this. And right after that, of course, we have the famous clouds. And like with every update, it's going to be added gradually. They've updated Fang's attack. Now we can see how far his shoe goes. That's a really good addition, I think, especially for new players who don't really understand how the shoe works or don't quite get the mechanics. I think that's a really, really good addition. There's a secret mechanic in Juju's shop. I found it interesting. I hadn't talked about it before. You're more likely to get skin offers for the brawlers you use most, which is great. You'll have skins for your favorite or newly unlocked brawlers. At least you can equip them with a skin, and the brawlers you have at level 11, basically you really have a shop that's completely personalized. That's a really good thing. If you have many blinks, save them for offers that actually interest you. Don't spend them all just because you can. They go really fast, especially when you see the legendary skins that cost over 20,000 blinks. Here are the spawn effects of the legendary skins. Honestly, there's something special about them. You can see Lou's, that's for the magical star skins, especially Amber's, and they tell us that All Might Primo won't have one since he already has a skin pack. It's a collaboration, so I don't think they have a choice. Since it was postponed, I believe this is the collaboration we should have had last year. It was meant to happen in June, but kept getting delayed. These are the designs we should have had then, and they weren't reworked because the contract was already signed. In my view, everything followed My Hero Academia, and since it's approved, it can't be redone. That's why there's no animation. Crazy Raccoon is partnering now. So, we can see their emotes, icons, spray, etc. That's a really good thing. I'm happy for them. Question, now that they know what the new legendary skins will look like, which do you prefer? The old legendary skins or the new legendary skins with sound effects on attack, super, and respawn effects. Honestly, I don't understand those who choose the old ones. It's nice to have icons, skin packs, sprays. But when you start to have a huge collection and you can't use as many sprays or icons as you want, you can only equip a few. Of course, you prefer that. At least you really have real skins with real animations. It's very stylish. Frank revealed something interesting. The BT21 skins, so those are the Line Friends skins, are not permanent. In fact, they stay in the catalog each time. But actually, Brawl Stars simply decides to extend their contract every year. So that means if the contract isn't renewed, those skins will disappear. Be careful, they'll disappear from the shop. If you bought them, you'll keep them. But that means you have to be careful. Those skins aren't permanent. It's just that the contract is renewed. Normally, all contracts last 1 year, except for these. Last time, we saw the sprays. Now we're actually going to see the pins. We especially have the Brawl Cup pins. So I imagine that these 2 Brawl Cup pins will be exclusive pins for people who go there. I imagine that, for example, the gold one will really be for people who go there, and maybe this one is for people who watch the event. They might have a QR code to scan, so that one will remain rare. At least that's what I think. Just to be clear, I'm just making predictions here. Maybe both will be extremely rare. These are pins we're not used to seeing, so I imagine you'll definitely have to be there. So we have the pins. That will be for the collaboration with Adidas and for the June season. The pins, they're well organized, I like that. So we have the skin pins. Same thing, the skins for Magical Star. The legendary skin, indeed, it's the only legendary skin that has its full set of pins, because now that's no longer the case. Otherwise, we'd see Amber 2 with a huge set of pins. So indeed, there are fewer pins than before. My Hero Academia is similar. We can see which pins are available. There are still many for Diasport. I'm excited for the events, especially during predictions. I'm also looking forward to the one related to the Brawl Cup. And those must be pins that we probably get in the Brawl Pass. At least that's what I imagine. We also have new star drops, Blink star drops. It's a new type of star drop that was spotted in the rewards for the Mega Quest. It vaguely resembles something related to the Blinks. I can't wait to open some. As soon as we can open them, there will obviously be a pack opening for these star drops, just to find out what they are, learn a bit about the drop rates, and so on. We'll learn more about them soon, and once we do, I'll do a pack opening like I always do with new star drops. Now let's discuss the community's reaction. Of course, what surprised people the most was My Hero Academia. The collaboration, so many people are happy about it. It came out of nowhere. Now I've seen some people criticizing the collaborations, saying it's going to turn into Fortnite and so on. The truth is, we've only really had collaborations since 2024, but you should know that the last collab we had on Brawl Stars was almost a year ago. It's not like they're overdoing the collaborations and we're getting them every month and it's being spammed, and the collaborations, just to be clear, aren't taking over. It's really just skins, so we still have our usual modes and everything. We have events which are cool, but a skin doesn't totally change the game or make brawlers overpowered. Boss Declare was a flop and Brawl Stars learned from it. We don't get temporary brawlers anymore. Brawl Stars actually listens, so it's not fair to compare it to Fortnite since the collaborations are completely different. 60 in April, yeah, for sure, Nagia, but that's the downside. They don't overdo collaborations, but they go overboard with new features, buffs, and hypercharges, which is the real problem. As we discussed earlier, and sooner than you think, we had talked about it in that post. Indeed, we didn't get Rico, Brock, and R4, I guess, maybe anyway. They'll probably be the next trio to get buffs. I think, since we didn't get that one, they only focused on the 3 tubers, Edgar, Griff, and Colette. I think, yeah, that'll probably be the next trio. So I think it'll come out in June for the next Brawl Talk. I want to say, once again, we don't get both at the same time. Not that bad, actually. I think I'm starting to see a pattern here. There's one that has a slash that does 2000 damage. Yeah, well, Supernova, exactly the same. Is it hated by the community? So, is it disliked by the community? Kenji? Well, it's controversial, but it's not hated either. Anyway, Buzz and Claire were really hated. But Kenji, let's say, is pretty well liked. He's a brawler that's annoying when you play against him or whatever. At least back when he was strong. Supernova will be really strong when released, but I doubt she'll be disliked. Actually, it's the opposite. However, Kit isn't popular, and since Supernova is in Kit's trio, that could make things tricky. We'll leave it there. W. Adrian. So, these are brawlers who are extremely strong, who dominated the meta for more than 2 months. And it's true that they didn't get anything. Sirius didn't get any nerfs during this Brawl Talk, just like Korvac and Bull. On the other hand, Ziggy and Grom, well, Ziggy might be a bit strong, but be careful. It's not like the others. They're getting real nerfs. Adrian, what are you doing? What's with this balancing? Anyway, I hope you know a bit more now. I also hope you understand a bit more about this famous Brawl Talk. There are so many things. I'm always so happy with these updates, and this one is so well done. It's really great, so see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching this video. As always, this was Periado. As always, use the code Periado. It really means a lot and gives huge support. See you next time, guys, and goodbye. That's all.